Hi guys, I'm Lisa and I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to share with you my 5-star predictions challenge thing. I know a lot of people have just been talking about what they think is going to be their 5-star reads, and then maybe possibly reading them and coming back and talking about how whether it turned out to be true. And I sort of want to do something similar. I have tried to do 5-star predictions earlier, and I still think that maybe those books are going to be 5 stars, but I was terrible at actually getting around to reading them, and now I've wrapped them up, so I can't really do anything about it. So I have made a selection of now 11 books that I think is going to be possibly 5 stars. I have a good feeling about them. That is from different genres, and 4 of them I think is to be unwrappings. Then I have a couple of books that I picked out at the Fantasy Festival. I have a series continuation, and I have a couple of audios that I think will be 5 stars. The reason I want to do this is because I wanted to pick some books that I know I might be able to read over the next year. I want to make a little bit of a challenge out of it so that I can come back and talk about whether I actually read them. I mean, I could honestly just have put on my favorite series that I usually always give 5 stars to, but I thought that was a little too easy. So I went a little bit differently. I only have 1 series continuation on here, and the reason I put these on is because they're not necessarily it's not easy for me to determine that they're going to be 5 stars. I'll get more into that later. But let's start out with the 3 audios I put on this that I don't have a physical copy of. The first one I have a 5-star prediction for is The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. This is a 2020 release. I think it just recently came out, and there's a lot of hype surrounding this, and I have a good feeling about it. I think that there are definitely possibilities that I'm definitely going to love this one, and I'm going to want to give this one a try. I've forgotten right now what it's about, but I remember when I read about it, I was thinking, yeah, this could definitely be something that I would end up giving 5 stars to. So I definitely want to give this a try, and I saw that it just came in on Storytel, so I will definitely be listening to this at some point over the year. Another one that I have had on my list for a while actually is nonfiction, the only nonfiction on this list. And I think I'm going to give this one 5 stars because not just because like a lot of people who read this is loving this and give it 5 stars, but I think it's one of those books that's definitely going to be scaring me. And while that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to give it 5 stars, I have a good feeling that a story like this would be able to get that from me. And that is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by McNamara. I don't tend to get super scared with horror books or stuff like that, but when it's like this, it is a non-fiction. It's a talk about something that happened in real life, so it could happen again. It usually tends to get to me, so I have a feeling that I will definitely read this and be scared, but still also enjoy my time reading it and not be able to let it go. But we'll see about that. But that's definitely why it was added. I also have 1 contemporary romance kind of book that I've decided to add to this because I have a good feeling about it, and that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I've never read anything by this author before, but I have a good feeling about it, and I hope that I will be able to get to it soon. So I only know that it's set in Alaska, so I don't know much more about that than that. I do tend to enjoy books that are set on sort of not as like just this big city type place, so that definitely bodes well for the books. The next 2 books I'm going to talk about together because they're from the same series. The series that I decided to pick a couple of books for is the Discworld series, and while some people will think, well, isn't Pratchett your favorite author? Or one of your favorite authors? Yes, he is. Definitely that. But even if he's my favorite author, I've only rated 6 of the Discworld books that I've read so far 5 stars. I've read 21 Discworld books so far, and 6 of them only has been 5 stars. The rest has been like 4 stars, majority of them, some of them 4.5 stars, and then I have a couple of 3.5 stars. So these 2 books, I think, are books that I'm going to be reading over the next year. That I think is going to be 5 stars, that I hope is going to be 5 stars. I think one of them are more likely to give 5 stars than the other, but I am looking forward to both, and I have a good feeling about both. The first one is Carpe Jugulum by Pratchett. This is the next book in the Witches series that I'm going to read. I think it's the one after the one I have on my March TBR. This is one of the Witches books, and the Witches series is one of my favorite sub-series in this. The most recent Witches book got 5 stars, so that is why I have a good hope that the next one is going to be as amazing, because I really love the characters from this one. I don't know much about what it is, but it's something to do with both vampires and witches, sort of a mix, and because of that I also think it's going to be really great. That's sort of a thing that I think will be great. Another one that I put on here is Thief of Time by Pratchett. This is the next book in the Death series, and the reason why I put it on as a 5-star prediction is because 3 of the 4 Death books I've read so far have been 5 stars. So there's a good chance it could be, but it also could not be, because like Soul Music only got 4 stars for me. So it doesn't necessarily mean I'll give this 5 stars as well. So these are the 2 books that I have from an ongoing series that I've added. The next one I have is when I picked this series up at the Fantasy Festival, and I went to a reading with this guy at the Fantasy Festival because and thought that his books sounded really amazing and like something I really enjoy. The way that he built up his world, the way that he built up his characters, and I know from the people that I know have read it, a lot of them really seem to love it, and those I trust really love them. So I have a good feeling about this. So the book that I have here is The Watered Man, or The Painted Man by Peter E. Brett. I'm really excited to try and get to this one. It is dark fantasy. Like, I have a feeling it's going to be similar to Mark Lawrence's books, because it's going to be dark or gritty fantasy, but I'm not sure about this. But I definitely had good sense for this. I haven't had a good feeling about this series, so I'm looking forward to seeing if my predictions are correct. So I hope I will definitely be enjoying this one. The next one is I already have it on my list to read over the year, so I hope that I will definitely get to it. And it is a book that is a bit of a chunky one. It's one of my TBR wrappings, and it is The Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marillier. I've heard excellent things about the author and the writing style. I think the fact that it's set in Ireland and surrounding Fae is something that I really am going to be enjoying. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one, and hopefully it will live up to my expectations, because I have really high expectations for this one. Mm-hmm. The next one has only been added to my 5-star predictions recently. I've always thought that I was going to be enjoying it, but since reading a short story by the author and her writing style, I am even more excited to read this, and I'm thinking that there's a bigger chance that I would really love this, and that is The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie King. This is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. It's about this girl called Mary Russell who becomes an apprentice. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, and hopefully I will enjoy it as much as I predict. And I definitely enjoyed her writing style in that short story, so there's a good chance that I will enjoy it a lot. The next one is, I have read a book by this author before. I give that one 5 stars. It's not the same series, but the way that he built up his world makes me think that I will definitely enjoy this one, and that is City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. I read Founderside last year, loved it. I love the way he built up the world building, the magic system, and the characters. So I hope that I will definitely enjoy this one. It is sort of more like a modern setting in fantasy, whereas I think usually the majority of the high fantasy stuff sits in a medieval time sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to getting into this, hopefully. It is one I picked up at the Fantasy Festival last year, so I am hoping to get to it in the coming year. I think the fact that I put it on this list, it might make me pick it up sooner. The next one is another TV unwrapping, and that is a sort of historical as well, and that is A Spy in the House by Y.S. Lee. The reason I think that I'm going to really enjoy it is because I have a feeling... I read a short story by this author from A Tyranny of Petticoats, and it was one of my absolute favorite short stories from that. I gave it 5 stars, and the writing was excellent. So I have a really good feeling about this book, and it's one of my most anticipated, and I can't wait to read this, and hopefully it will be as amazing as I'm thinking. The next one is the only Danish fantasy on this, and I could have probably put on a couple more, but that will be at a later time. Right now I put this on because out of the books that I got, I think this is the one that's going to be get the most impact on me, and that is because when I was told about this at this fantasy festival thing, I was told the writing style was reminiscent to Robin Hobb, so I hope that is correct. But it also has been recommended a lot by my Danish friend Kirsten from Læsersmith Fantasy. So the book that I'm going to be reading is Væddermændendes, which I think is the Men of Aria's Night, if I translate it. It hasn't been translated to English, and I don't know if it's ever going to be. But it is sort of adult fantasy from Denmark, and I'm excited to try it out. Also because I would really love to read some more Danish authors, especially from the fantasy genre. And so I picked this one up obviously at the fantasy festival, and if I like this one, I have the sequel as well. So yeah, definitely hoping this will live up to my expectations. The last and final one I put on this list is a gothic sort of story. It is The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I don't know if this is a little far-fetched in thinking that it's going to be a 5-star, but everyone who talks about this talks about how it was a 5-star book and how it was one of the best books they ever read. I don't know, but it sounds amazing, and I like the fact that I don't know anything. I hate going to books knowing a lot. So I'm looking forward to reading this one, and hopefully it will be great. So these are on my 5-star predictions pile for this round, and I hope I will enjoy them. And I hope that I will be correct in my predictions, and I will check in and let you know later. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these and which ones you think is going to be 5 stars for me. That would be fun to know if you have like a prediction yourself that you think this is going to be a 5-star for me. That will be fun, and see if that's going to be true. This is all I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye.